Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for week 106 of Build Your Stash and Craft. This week we are going to make infinity charms that you can use any way that you would use a charm. You can put them on dangles or you can put them on a piece of mixed media, and this is what we're going to make. And so if you look at these and say, well, I don't want plain old wire, or I don't want those kids beads, I'm going to show you how to get around that and to make things look even nicer. If you can see this, I don't know if you can really see it or not, but this wire has texture to it. And here I have one that the wire is not just plain old silver. So I'm going to show you how to do this. You can use your paper beads for this. You can use your big kids beads. If you have, this is just a big hole bead that I had found and that I used. So any bead that has a hole big enough for the wire to go through twice. And that's all you're going to need. So to start with, we're just going to grab a length of wire here. If I can, you wouldn't think it was that hard to open. I hate to mess up my packaging too bad because I like to leave it in the packaging. And I already had the bottom open. Look at that. So, alrighty. So we're just going to need some of our wire, and we're going to take off a length. It just depends on what size you want to make. The larger you want to make them, the more wire you're going to need. And so I'm just going to take probably, I'm going to say about 12 inches maybe. Or maybe not even quite that. Maybe around 9. And we will need our beading tools for this. So, but if you just have a pair of like pliers with a wire snipper on them, that will work just fine also. So the way that you're going to do this is you're going to start by making your smallest hole first. So I am just going to, and what am I going to use to make this infinity? I'm going to use anything that I have on hand. So these are just some like effervescent immune support things. You know, this is a dry permanent marker. This is a correction tape. And what you want is you want something that has two sizes. You could make one this size with this as your large and this is your small circle. You could do it this size with your large and small circle. You can use a pen and this one. You know, you just want to have something that's round that is two different sizes, kind of close to each other. We'll start by just making a really big one. Well, maybe, no, we won't, because I don't think I cut enough wire to make a really big one. So I am going to use my permanent marker, and what I'm going to do, oops, I'm going to make it with, this is my smallest one. The first one that you want to wrap is your small circle, and then your large circle you wrap second. So your small circle, you're going to just wrap right around about the middle of your wire. And you're just going to go around that and give it a pull. You're not going to wrap it any further than that. And now we have this circle. And it looks just like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your larger circle and you're just going to wrap back the other way. Now I like to put my little connection right here at the side. I don't really want it on the bottom because I want it to look like the infinity. So I'm going to bring this around and I'm going to put my cross on the side. Here's our small circle where it crossed, and now I'm going to bring this other one up to the side and make it cross at the side. So I'm just going to go like this, and I do want to kind of, you know, pull that around where it meets so that I actually get a pretty nice circle. Be careful about pulling too hard. You don't want to unwind your small circle. So, and then what you're going to do is you're going to choose a bead to put on there. Now, if you don't like your plastic beads, what you can do is you can just paint them. I painted these with nail polish. So now they have kind of a metallic look to them, and I really like that look. We'll just take this first one. I'll show you how the easiest way that I find to paint these, and that is, you know, you want to stick them on something that will hold them while you're trying to paint them with your nail polish. And so my skewer was not big enough, so I just took a little bit of masking tape And just start with little bits and then just wrap it. And you can do like different sections of these on your skewer, so you can do more than one of your beads at a time. You know, just kind of, you know, put them where you have a little bit of space to hold it and to work with your nail polish, so that you're not getting the nail polish all over one you don't want to. And then this is not really tight. If I go to paint that with my nail polish, it's going to turn, but it's pretty close. So I'm just going to put just a little bit more masking tape, because I just want it to hold tight so that it doesn't move as I'm trying to paint around it. But when you have something that's really small, it's really hard to try and hold on to it to paint it. So you want to have some kind of a mandrel or something to hold on to it for you. And this way, it's only holding on to your bead. And now I wrapped the masking tape this way, so as I put my bead on there, I'm going to turn it that way so it doesn't try and unwrap my masking tape. And now that is really tight. And there we go. Now we've got that on there. Now we can paint it any color. If you say, oh, I like this green, but it just looks so plasticky, you know, I don't know that I want to just use it like that. Well, how about some sparkly nail polish? And all of these nail polishes we have picked up throughout the couple of years to do different projects. And the thing about nail polish is like a lacquer. You can't do any better than that. And if you try and buy lacquer paints, they're quite expensive. The other nice thing about nail polish is it dries really quickly. And so I like that because I'm always a little bit impatient. Do remember, if you need to put 2 coats, let the first coat dry really well. If you paint your nails, you know how it goes if you don't let the first coat dry, which is why I don't paint my nails, because I never can wait long enough. But there we go. Now we have a really pretty sparkly green bead. And that will look really nice on a project. Then just take this and stick it into a piece of, get a piece of styrofoam that's big enough that it won't tip over when you put this in there, and then just let them dry. Or I have my little tool caddy here, and I'm just sticking it in the edge of that to hold it. So that's how you can make your beads looking different than the plastic beads. Plus these plastic beads, some of them have, you know, little marks and that type of thing, and when you paint them, that kind of goes away. Okay, back to our infinity. So what we're going to do is I am going to just kind of straighten this one out just a little bit. And I'm going to just put my bead on here. And then I'm going to carefully, whoops, I'm going to do it the other way. I'm sorry about that. You want to put it on whatever one is the longest. And then the shortest one. And the reason I'm not going to cut this is because I'm going to use it to make a little swirl at the end, because I think they're really pretty and it holds your bead in place. So I'm going to take my shortest one and I'm just going to pull it back a little bit. And you can give this a little bit of a bend out here. You want to try not to actually bend it here. You're going to move it on your circle, but try not to bend your circle. And I'm just going to kind of bend this one out here, put it through my bead, and then bring it back through. Okay, and then I'm going to just kind of adjust it, see where I think I want it. I'm going to bend that there to hold that bead right there. I'm going to come over here, make my circle a little bit rounder right there. And then just kind of bend that one there. Okay, now we have our infinity. And if you don't want to have your swirls on the end, what you can do is put some of your permanent glue in here, like oh, I forget what you call it, the glue that we got at the Dollar Tree. And, you know, that's a really strong glue. And you can just put that in there and let it dry really, really well, and then try nipping those off. So once you've done that, you're just going to use your little round pliers to make a circle. And I really don't need that quite that long. So I think I'll nip just a little bit of this one off. And always when you cut wire, hang on to it so it doesn't go flying. And then to make your circle, you're going to bend a 90-degree angle. just like that. And then you're going to start at that angle and then come back the way that you just came from, so towards the bend. And that will bring that that'll bring the first point around right to the bend and give you a nice circle. Once you get there, then you're just going to use your flat pliers and you're just going to hold on to it. And now I like to do it where I'm going to wrap away from me. So I'm going to hold on to that circle right where it's kind of coming together and then just push it away from me. And then you're going to do this in small steps, so, you know, just a little bit at a time. You're going to move it back to where you just kind of bent it a little bit and then push it away from you. Bring it back around. Now you can make this tight. You can make it loose. I've got a little bit of a gap right there, so I'm going to leave that and hold on to that and push this one away from me and kind of keep that same distance and just do it really slow. Take your time. I have a hard time with these circles, and I'm sure that you can, if you look on YouTube, you'll find people that make these little swirly circles and do them much better. But you're just going to keep going with that swirl until you get right up next to your bead. Now, I have rolled it towards the bead, and usually I roll them the other way, but that's okay. I've done this one this way, so I'm going to leave it that way, and I'm going to do this one the same way. And I'm going to take a little bit of this off also, but I'm going to leave it a little longer than the last one so that it winds up being a little bit of a bigger spiral, because then we have a small spiral and a big spiral and a small circle and a big circle. Just going to come back to that bend. And then I am just going to turn it around. Just around and around and around. And the more you make these spirals, the better you'll get. I think we must have made these recently because it seems like I remember saying that before already. But it is definitely the truth. My spirals used to be really bad. Now they're only kind of bad. And there we go. So now we have our infinity charm, and it's just plain silver wire. So if you don't like that plain flat silver wire, what I do is I just take my round nose pliers, because they have a smaller space, and I just pinch it. Just pinch, 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 and what it does is it puts dents in your wire, because this is a kind of a medium thickness wire. And it does take a while, but that's okay because I really like the looks of it. But if you like the flat silver, that's good too. If you don't like the little dents in your silver and you don't like the flat silver, then just choose a color of nail polish and paint it. And again, if you need a second coat, let it dry before you do the second coat. And I'm hoping that you'll be able to see this. But here we have texture, and here there's not. And so that's just a different look. You could even do it just around halfway around this circle and halfway around this circle and stop. And that would be really cool too. I also do, let me try the bigger one, you might be able to see it better. I also did put the little dents on my spirals. And I did that afterwards. I didn't do it before. Just after I was all done, I just took my little pliers and just went in there and just press, 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 and it just puts little marks in your wire. Now, if you're doing this with a smooth wire and you put a dent in your wire and you're like, oh no, I've ruined it, just put a dent all the way around. That's actually how I did this one. I was going to leave this smooth, but I dented my wire when I was doing these, so I went ahead and I made the whole thing look like that. It's very hard sometimes. There we go. I think that you might be able to see that. But so that's as easy as it is. You can leave your wire flat, you can mark it up, you can paint it up, you can use paper beads, you can use your kids' beads, you can use any bead that you find that has a big hole, big enough for the two to go through. And then you can use just anything around the house to make your circles. And then you can use these to hang on your dangles on your books. And if you use a flat kind of bead, and even with this you can use your paper beads and then you could flatten them out. You know, now these ones I have put a lot of glue on afterwards to seal them, so they're pretty hard. But make a bead that's a little bit soft, and when you put it on there after you get it on, flatten it out so it fits better inside of a book. But I just really like these infinities. You can use them on a necklace. So they don't, as a matter of fact, that's what I saw an infinity necklace, you know, that had a little decoration. I don't think it was a swirl, but it had kind of a decoration on it. Sorry about that, I got a call, so we got interrupted. But I was just saying that I did see a necklace that was like an infinity necklace, and it had some decorations and a bead at the bottom. And so that's where I came up with the inspiration for this. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and that if you make these, that you have a good time with that. I really do like them. For next week, we are going to need a set of erasers from the Dollar Tree. And we are going to need one of these nail grooming kits. And what we need here is we need this cuticle cutter. It looks like this. And so this is what you're looking for. So if you can't get like this kit, that's okay. But you just want to make sure that whatever you get, it has one of these cuticle cutters in it. So this is what we'll need for next week. We're going to spend $2. So that'll put $3 in our bank. And we had $30.50 in our bank, so our new balance is going to be $33.50 in our bank for the series. So thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope that you enjoyed the video. And if you make these, I hope that you have a really good time. Thanks again for watching, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.